Now, for the next one, what we're doing is we're looking at how to sketch these graphs, and we're labeling any intercepts and turning points. So, as I said before, the y-intercept may be a little bit difficult, but the x-intercepts and turning points shouldn't be a problem. So for this one, so we'll graph this first one. So x squared minus 6x minus 1. Now, there's a couple of ways we can go about this. We'll open a graph page, and we'll say x, squared minus 6x minus 1, and there we have it. So we've got our x-intercept, our y-intercept here, and we've got a turning point. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go menu, window zoom, zoom out, window settings, and I'm going to go -10 to 10. I'm going to go down to, -20, for example, because that's what it looks like it might be, and I'll leave a maximum there. So there we have. Now we can see everything. We can see the x-intercept, y-intercept, and turning point. So what we do is we can see that our y-intercept is here at -1, and we can see that here we've got intersection, and we're looking for our y-intercept, sorry, our two x-intercepts. So menu, analyze graph, and that happens where our function is 0. So here, upper boundary and lower boundary happens at 6.16 and 0. Menu, analyze graph, 0, that's where our function equals 0. Upper boundary, lower boundary, -0.162 and 0. And then the last one, we want our turning point. So we can see that here, our turning point is a minimum. So that's what we want. So we want menu, analyze graph, minimum, and we're going from here to here. And we can see that our minimum happens at 3 and -10. So that's what we've got. That's what we've got there. So that's our. So we know our y-intercept happens at x equals 0. So 0 squared minus 6 times 0 is still 0. Minus 1, so that happens at -1. Our x-intercept, which we find through letting it equal 0. So let's have a look at that again, but we're going to go through it a slightly different way. So home, I'm going to make a calculator page, and I'm going to look at this graph here. This -2x squared plus 5x minus 8. So I'm going to say define f of x equals -2x squared plus 5x minus 8. Is it plus 5x? Yeah, okay. So that's what I'm going with there. I'm going to make a new calculator page. So calculator. And I'm just going to say f of x. And there's my graph. So for this, we can clearly see there's no x-intercept. So we would say there's no x-intercept. We've got a y-intercept. And we know that our y-intercept happens at -8. And our turning point, analyze graph, here we can see that it's a maximum. It's a maximum point, it's a highest value. Lower boundary, upper boundary happens at -1.25 and 1.25 and -4.88. So that's the way we'd go about doing these on CAD. So you would sketch this. You would show. So for this one, you would sketch it. You would have your axes. You would clearly show that it doesn't cross the x-axis. So you have make sure it's well in this quadrant here, and then from there show your intercepts. Likewise with this one, sketch your axes. Sketch your graph, clearly showing your x-intercepts, y-intercept, and also your turning point coordinates, and you always write in coordinate form.